that you tell them alikuwekea hurub, he gave you hurub without maybe without asking you, ama mlikuwa mmekosana, you had misunderstanding and the kafil decided to put you on hurub. You can also book a maktab amal appointment to discuss any legal point related to this. Expert win the case against kafil for illegal hurub. You can win the case if at all walikudanganyishia makosa. Bosi aliamuka tu akasema huyu anataka kujifanya tiende mjanja. Wacha sasa, haurudi nyumbani, naenda kukuwekea hurubu kwamba uliniibia. You see? Hiyo pia it can determine, as in it can bring problem to your kafil. So what you need to do, be very careful and also be mindset, okay? If you prove that the court will grant you all the due benefits, however, make sure you transfer Iqama before starting the court process. Before you start, expert wins case against kafil for illegal hurub, okay? If you prove that the court will grant you all the due benefits, however, make sure you transfer your Iqama before starting the court cases. Before you start the court cases for your boss, make sure you transfer Iqama, then you report your kafil. Okay? Ministry of Labor. Removing hurub for domestic workers. Okay? In case of domestic workers, the possibility of removing hurub depends upon the time duration the employee has spent in Saudi Arabia. Okay? If the hurub is set by the kafil within 2 years of the employee arrival in Saudi Arabia, the employee must exit the country within 60 days of setting the hurub. If the hurub is set by kafil after 2 years of employee arrival in Saudi Arabia, the employee has two options. He or she can leave Saudi Arabia within 60 days, or he or she can transfer sponsorship without the approval of the current employer. This is where so many questions, I got a lot of questions here, okay? I got a lot of question here. I will repeat, removing hurub for domestic workers. In case of domestic worker, the possibility of removing hurub depends upon the time of the duration employee has set in Saudi Arabia. For instance, employee has set the duration of this hurub, anataka akupanish for the 2 years. This means if the hurub is set by the kafil within 2 years of the employee arrival in the Saudi Arabia, the employee must exit the country within 60 days of setting hurub. Okay? Uko na hurub na walikusetia within 2 years, you need to go. Na kama hautaki, if you don't want to leave the country, if the hurub is set by the kafil after 2 years of the arrival in Saudi Arabia, the employee has two options. The other one, if the hurub is set by kafil within 2 years of you working in Saudi Arabia, within 2 years, then you have 60 days for you to leave the country. You are allowed to leave the country without any problem. If the hurub is set by kafil after 2 years, after 2 years you finish your contract and then boss wako anakuwekea hurub, you know what you need to do? You have two options. First option, he or she can leave Saudi Arabia within 60 days. You can leave Saudi Arabia within 60 days. Ulimaliza contract yako. You don't have any case with that person. Get your ticket, go back home. You are free to go. Second, if he or she can transfer sponsorship without the approval of the employer. Okay? If the hurub is set by the kafil, you have two options. You can either transfer sponsorship without the approval. So you have two options. I think from there you understand what I said for those people who didn't understand Kiswahili. So I think from there you get my point. Understand? Or you don't understand? Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Chopadanda. See you the next episode. Bye bye. Toodles.